Tonight on CTV News at 6, pain at the pump.
Imagine that much change in 1 month means the fuel prices aren't a small thing.
Small businesses say rising gas prices are hurting them. The layoffs are coming. However, union officials at Algoma Steel say some are being granted work extensions. And where are they?
In a fire, especially structure fires, every minute counts.
Efforts are underway in Sudbury to clear snow from fire hydrants.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Glad you're with us on this Friday. Timmins police have identified the victim in a shooting on Dwyer Avenue as 48-year-old Yannick Boulay. Boulay was shot March 14th and later died of his injuries. Police say the suspect and victim are believed to have been known to one another. No arrests have been made so far. The coroner is investigating a second death this week at a homeless encampment in Sudbury. Police say a 43-year-old man was pronounced dead at Energy Court yesterday. Emergency crews were called to the site around 10:30 a.m. Thursday. The coroner's office is expected to conduct a post-mortem to determine a cause of death, but police say foul play is not suspected, adding that there is no indication the death is related to the recent weather event. Another person died at the encampment late Tuesday evening. The second suspect wanted in connection to a break-and-enter at a financial institution in North Bay has been arrested. A 32-year-old man was picked up by police on Tuesday in the 300 block of Lakeshore Drive. The break-and-enter occurred March 8th, and the other suspect in the case was arrested March 10th. Meanwhile, a pair of North Bay men were arrested for a robbery at a home on Main Street East over the last 2 days. Police say the suspects entered a residence, threatened the occupants with a weapon March 12th, and stole $1,200 in controlled substances. A 37-year-old suspect was arrested Wednesday at the North Bay police station. A 32-year-old suspect was arrested yesterday not far from where the robbery took place. Police say the suspects were known to the victims. While motorists across the north are watching the numbers climb at the pump, small businesses say the rising cost of fuel is becoming a real challenge for their operations. CTV's Amanda Hicks has more from Sudbury.
It's not just motorists in Sudbury who are feeling the pressure at the pumps. Prices are still trending high despite a dip of 2 cents overnight.
I think it's quite high and it's skyrocketing.
The impact is also being felt among small businesses, according to the Canadian Federation of Independent Business.
50% of them say fuel prices, once again, are a cause for concern in terms of the costs that their operations have to manage. Imagine that much change in 1 month means the fuel prices aren't a small thing. And why is that? Well, because it's part of the supply chain. We're all going to feel it at some point in time.
It's a feeling shared among the rideshare industry. Northern Ontario's own U-Ride says the increases have been especially challenging for their drivers.
We added a gas surcharge that goes 100% to the drivers. So it's $1 per trip across all Ontario markets at the moment. And so, yeah, that's something we're doing right now and we're closely monitoring. So again, hopefully for everyone's sake, the prices drop.
Gas analyst Dan McTagg says for Northern Ontario, part of the price hike is simply the cost of getting the fuel here.
Fuel has to be brought in from the Toronto region, up here to Sudbury and to the northeastern parts of Ontario. And so what would usually be a 3-cent hit for retailers who have to buy it could be as much as a 4 or 5 cent a liter increase.
McTagg expects prices to rise a few cents this weekend. He adds the bigger picture involves the conflict in the Middle East, saying the longer that remains uncertain, the more we'll feel the pinch when the switch to summer gas hits in April. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
Around the country, gas prices remain high. BC continues to have the most expensive gas, selling at just below $1.93 per litre on average. PEI had the biggest increase, rising nearly 5 cents to more than $1.86. Alberta has the cheapest gas at just over $1.57 per litre. As public works crews work to clear snow from roads across Greater Sudbury, workers from another city department are doing the same thing for critical infrastructure needed by fire services. CTV's Angela Gemmell reports.
These volunteer firefighters make quick work of shoveling snow away from a fire hydrant. They've been busy over the past few days.
Obviously, there's a lot of competing priorities with snow removal right now. So anything fire services can do to help out the community, help out the city. And this is one big portion that we're doing is by attempting to uncover all these fire hydrants.
Malene came to visit the crew to thank them for their hard work. Greater Sudbury Fire Services has asked its career and volunteer firefighters to do the same thing in their own neighborhoods.
In a fire, especially structure fires, every minute counts. So it's very crucial that that hydrant is, number one, you can observe where it is and it is accessible for the crews to do, as it may cause delays which could cause further damage to the structure and potentially if there is a rescue or evacuation required.
Meanwhile, 2,300 fire hydrants in Sault Ste. Marie are the responsibility of PUC Services, which try to keep them accessible in all types of weather. A spokesperson says it's hard to say how many need to be cleared after Monday's storm.
It is a continuous process throughout the winter. And also that's because weather conditions, such as drifting, new snowfall, frequently require crews to revisit previously cleared locations. So that's why it's difficult to get that specific number.
Despite fire crews in Sudbury working diligently to expose hydrants, Malene asks residents to do their part to help.
We never know when a fire is going to happen, so we'll need those access. Every second counts, so it's critical that they are exposed.
With 6,300 fire hydrants across the entire city of Greater Sudbury, Malene estimates it could take between 2 to 3 weeks to expose them all. But he also adds that so far they haven't been to a fire call where the nearest hydrant was buried under snow. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Garson.
And Greater Sudbury Police had a warning of snow removal scams. In a social media post, police say they're receiving reports of individuals offering snow removal services online. The scammers require partial payment up front, then don't show up to do the work. Police are reminding the public to be cautious of unsolicited offers and avoid paying up front. While Northern Ontario had record-breaking snowfalls this week, Vancouver is marking its first snow-free winter in more than 40 years. It's also reportedly the city's second warmest winter on record. Environment Canada says the average temperature at the airport weather station was 6 degrees from December to February. This comes in stark contrast to Central Canada and Ontario. Weather officials say Ontario was hit with colder and snowier weather than usual. And as if we haven't had enough snow, more has fallen. Is there more on the way? So Rick, what do you say? Do you like the snow?
I'm sick and tired of the snow right now. I know the sledders love it, and a lot of people really enjoy the winter or winter-y weather, but we had enough in the past week. A friend of mine sent me a pic from London, former Sudbury resident. Grass is growing and people are playing golf, so what can you say? Systems map, courtesy of Environment Canada. We've got a system moving in by tomorrow. So 10 to 15 centimeters late tomorrow afternoon, early evening. We'll have some numbers on that. The Sault situation will be 5 during the day and 2 at night, so not nearly as bad. But again, more flurries coming in, some snow. Then after it gets colder at the start of the week, some sunny skies and a lot more. So we'll have details all coming up this hour. Tony, back to you.
Thanks, Rick. Officials have secured seed funding. Still to come on CTV News at 6. The Social Services Board in Nipissing has received more for housing. Right now, we're heading to Whitney near Algonquin Park. This live webcam is courtesy of the Friends of Algonquin Park. It's minus 2 degrees. We will return in just over 2.5 minutes.
Pure Country 91.7. Sudbury's home for the best country music. Listen for your chance to win $50,000 with Pure Country's big $50K payday.
Next Monday is the day that many Algoma Steel employees have dreaded. It's the day printed on their layoff notices last December. CTV's Corey Nordstrom tells us that not all of the 1,000 employees will be gone on the 23rd, but many of them are planning for life after the steel plant.
Monday will mark the final shift for many workers at Algoma Steel. Union officials have been working to ensure those laid off are being treated properly as hundreds leave their posts.
We're all humans making all these decisions on who should stay and who shouldn't based on seniority, and people are phoning in. We're having to go back and double check our work to make sure that it is the based on the collective agreement.
Since early January, the Power Action Center has been the site of training and education about the options available for these workers and contractors. As of today, they've had over 400 sign-ups for their assistance. Many of the Algoma Steel employees set to be laid off have already retired, resigned, or are on sick leave, meaning much less than 1,000 will be off the job come Monday.
People wanted to wait and see what their status, layoff status would be. But very soon we're going to see a lot more people coming through the door because, as you know, Monday there's going to be at least probably, I would guess, estimate 300 people that will be laid off initially. And then, so many more after that.
Power Center officials say they are preparing for things to get even busier next week as things become clearer for laid-off employees.
There's one session going on at number 2 gate at Algoma Steel in their computer lab, and next week there's going to be, it's booked all week here with the Service Canada rep here to go through the understanding the rules of play for EI, as well as getting them registered into a Service Canada account.
This afternoon, the federal government gave an extension to its employment insurance special measures that steelworkers union officials have been calling for in the Soo.
People are making hard decisions with that. Now with this announcement, it looks like the members will have an extra 6 months to make the decision whether they want to maintain their recall rights with the company or if they want to ask for their severance and move on with their life.
Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
The Federal Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship was in Sudbury celebrating International Francophone Day. CTV's Madison Merrier reports.
Lena Metlaj-Diab joined MP Vivian Lapointe to announce funding in attracting Francophone people to Northern Ontario.
This program supports concrete initiatives that help communities attract more Francophone talent from outside Quebec and grow Francophone minority communities. $1.5 million.
Funding will be separated into 3 programs. Francophone Global Talent Mapping to attract workers to Canada to meet labor market needs, a pathway for students at Université de Hearst to settle in Canada post-studies, and a program to help inform and prepare Francophone immigrants.
Sudbury was selected as one of 13 communities all across Canada to be a welcoming community, une communauté accueillante, which means that we attract and get special programs for French-speaking, les nouveaux arrivants, French-speaking newly arrived Canadians.
We have seen quite decent growth in Francophone immigration in Sudbury in the last few years, both like in terms of services available to newcomers and to the number of newcomers. Just last year in 2025, there was 480 new permanent residents Francophone in Sudbury.
The 3 new programs fall under the Francophone Immigration Support Program, with the goal of countering the decline of Francophone minority communities outside of Quebec.
We know that especially in rural areas of Northern Ontario, that immigration is linked to prosperity. You have communities of mayors that want to grow the population. They want to address skill shortages and gaps in those in that workforce. So immigration is key to that.
There's numerous programs, and it's been years that there's some efforts. The first target from the federal government actually dates back more than 20 years. But for long, we didn't have a lot of progress. It's in the last few years that we saw a huge increase in numbers.
Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
The Nipissing Social Services Board is working towards 4 new early-stage housing development projects. The board was able to secure seed loan funding from the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation. The money will be used for essential pre-construction work. The locations include 365 Lakeshore Drive in North Bay, Manitou Street in North Bay, 70 Principal Street East in Verner, and 60 Gale Airy Lake Road in Whitney. The board chair is hoping these projects will start soon.
A lot of it depends on the Housing Accelerator Fund from the federal government, and obviously last week they were debating that in Ottawa. If in fact those housing dollars come forward, then those projects could actually take off.
Work through this funding may include environmental assessments, geotechnical studies, site investigations, and other technical and planning work. Striking West Nipissing bus drivers held a day of action on the picket line with support from other school bus drivers and unions today. Bargaining between the union and the bus company, Alouette bus lines, are at a stalemate, and drivers have been picketing for about a month. Since it started, some drivers chose to cross the line and return to work, which disappointed union representatives. The main issue is wages. The 80 drivers are demanding a better fare at just over $21.
They offered us $20 an hour, up from $18.11, which are quite poverty wages. It's just above minimum wage. And meanwhile, 80 kilometers down the highway, they get $25.44 at Northway Bus Lines, which is also a steelworker represented group.
CTV News did reach out to Alouette. We did not receive a response. Previously, Alouette has stated the company remains committed to a new collective agreement with the union and the school bus drivers. Back now for a check on your current conditions with Rick.
We've got more snow coming up in the forecast for tomorrow, so you get a bit of a break. Our forecast radar to kickstart your weekend. Here's the system that will filter through for tomorrow. And then again, we'll have some amounts similar to what we experienced last night. We'll get into that during the 7-day forecast and more. But first, your current temperatures. -6 in Moosonee with the sunshine. Lots of cloud cover. Cochrane -2. Some flurries in Timmins at -2. Kapuskasing -3 with the clouds as well. 0 in Chapleau. Cloud cover there. Wawa -1. Clouds. Sault Ste. Marie -2 with the clouds as well. Parry Sound +2 degrees with cloud cover. In North Bay -2. Cloudy skies. Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake -3 in both locales with cloud cover. Meanwhile, Greater Sudbury Nickel Belt to -1. Cloud cover there. Espanola cloudy +1. +2 in Elliott Lake with the clouds, and +1 Gore Bay. Cloudy skies as well. 7-day forecast and a lot more coming up with your pick of the day, very special pick of the day. The theme is postal. It's gone postal with our pick of the day. Details just minutes away.
Thanks, Rick. Iran launches a new round of attacks. Next on CTV News at 6, global prices are soaring as attacks continue on oil and gas facilities. And a comedian originally from Wawa is set to perform this evening in Sudbury. U.S. President Donald Trump is lashing out at NATO again, calling allies cowards for not participating in American efforts to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, the Iranian regime is threatening to widen the conflict. CTV's Judy Trin with the latest.
American warplanes and attack helicopters are striking more Iranian targets in efforts to reopen the Hormuz Strait. The United States is also sending 3 more warships and 2,500 more Marines to the Persian Gulf.
No force on earth can beat the American sailors or the American military.
But for the first time in this war, a U.S. F-35 stealth fighter, nearly invisible to radar, was struck over Iran and forced to do an emergency landing. Donald Trump continues to complain that allies are not sending military support to the Strait. On Truth Social, Trump said NATO without the U.S. would be a paper tiger. He called them cowards, unwilling to help despite so little risk. We will remember, the president warned. Allies were not consulted before the U.S. and Israel launched attacks on Iran. 3 weeks after the war started, 7 allies, including Canada, are expressing readiness to contribute appropriate efforts to ensure safe passage through the strait.
Celle-ci est strictement défensive.
French President Emmanuel Macron said the help would be strictly defensive to support regional allies and preserve freedom of navigation. Macron did not provide more details about how that will be done. At the White House, Trump seemed to imply that talks to de-escalate would be difficult.
And now nobody wants to be a leader over there anymore. We're having a hard time. We want to talk to them, and there's nobody to talk to. We have nobody to talk to, and you know what? We like it that way.
Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, has not been seen publicly and has only issued written statements. Donald Trump says he believes Khamenei is badly injured. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford is planning to outlaw ticket resales that force customers to pay substantially more than the original value. The provincial government is planning to amend the Ticket Sales Act. The move would make it illegal for tickets to concerts, sports, and other live events to be resold for more than their original cost. It's an issue that has plagued Toronto during recent events. In years such as the World Series and Taylor Swift's 2024 concert tour, many paid thousands more than what the original ticket cost. The government says the changes will be tabled in the coming days. Life Labs is speaking out about the closure of its lab in Sudbury. In a statement to CTV News last night, Life Labs clarified some details around the closure, saying approximately 20 employees at the Sudbury laboratory will be impacted by this transition. Life Labs is committed to supporting affected employees with care, respect, and clear communication. Sudbury MPPs had previously said 40 jobs would be lost in the closure. They've been rallying against the closure, including an event in Sudbury yesterday, calling on the provincial government to take action to keep the lab open or provide options for patients in Sudbury. Life Lab says Sudbury will retain a specialized laboratory, that only its routine lab is closing. The company also promises increased transport frequency to ensure northern weather does not delay results. The lab is slated to close May 17th. While NASA began moving its Artemis II rocket toward the launch pad at Cape Canaveral early today, meeting its planned target date for the rollout. The agency previously said that this was to maintain the opportunity for a launch attempt April 1st. According to NASA, the movement to the launch pad could take up to 12 hours using the specialized transporter. The rollout is a major milestone as NASA prepares for its first crewed lunar orbit mission in over half a century. And there's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
Happy spring. It finally kicked in this morning at about 10:46. So again, here is the countdown to better weather over the course of the next couple of months until we reach the first official day of summer. Just keeping my fingers crossed. Snow in the forecast for tomorrow at about 4 o'clock. Lots of cloud cover as well. Then the snowfall will start. We'll get to the actual amounts momentarily. Overnight conditions, flurries, Greater Sudbury, Sault Ste. Marie, cloud cover, Timmins, flurries, Temiskaming Shores, some flurries, and North Bay flurries. No significant accumulation. Clear skies in Moosonee, but cold, -24. Caphurst, flurries, cloudy skies, Wawa, Gore Bay, cloudy, and Parry Sound, cloudy as well. Here we go to the numbers. Sudbury Nickel Belt, snow tomorrow. Late during the day and the evening, 5 to 10 centimeters at night, -1 your expected high. Sunday, chance of flurries, -2. The clouds roll in Monday, -3. That low pressure system continues. Tuesday, chance of flurries at 0. And Wednesday, loads of sunshine, -5 your expected high. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, 5 centimeters during the day, 2 centimeters at night. A variation from what Sudbury will get. 0 your high. Cloud cover on Sunday. Monday, we've got sunshine, -2. Tuesday, chance of flurries at 2, -4 Wednesday, sun and cloud. And the chance of snow at 70% on Thursday, +1 your daytime high. Timmins Cochrane Campus casing, snow late tomorrow into the evening, 5 to 10 centimeters. -2 your high, -4 cloud cover Sunday. Monday, some sun and cloud, -3. Chance of flurries Tuesday, -2 and -9. Kind of a rough start to that day to start things off. Wednesday, sunshine, and the evening low, -15. A cold one in Timmins Cochrane Campus casing. Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake, snow tomorrow, 5 to 10 centimeters at night, late afternoon, early evening. 0 your expected high. Sunday, chance of flurries, -3. -2 Monday, sun and cloud. The chance of flurries on Tuesday at 70%, -2. And -7 Wednesday, -3 Thursday. So you get sunshine one day in between the chance of flurries and the chance of snow. That's not the anomaly weather-wise, but that's what you're going to get over the course of 3 days in Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake. How about North Bay, West Nipissing? Always interesting travel weather, especially along Lake Nipissing. Here we go. Mainly cloudy for tomorrow. Snow in the forecast, 5 to 10 centimeters, starting late afternoon, early evening. Sunday, chance of flurries, -1, -2. Monday, some cloud cover. Tuesday, chance of flurries, 0. Your expected high. -6 Wednesday, sun and cloud, and the chance of snow Thursday at 70%. That's a pretty good bet there. The expected high at around -3. Let's have a look at our pick of the day. Wow, Canada Post had it rough this week. Mailboxes in Isilda, Germaine, Paquette snowed in. Literally in Isilda with the snow. You can't access the boxes for the mail, so you know what? Those bills will just have to wait. Hey, stick around. Hockey this week. We'll take a look at the Ontario Hockey League playoff matchups with Mark Seidel right after the break.
He's a comedian originally from Wawa and is now on tour. It's called the Snowed In Comedy Tour, and Pete Zedlacker now joins us in North Bay, where he performed last night. Hi there, Pete.
Good morning. Hello from North Bay. We're going to make our way to Sudbury shortly.
Yes, you're performing at the Fraser Auditorium at Laurentian University. So do you have some jokes all lined up about Sudbury? What can you tell us?
So every year we have a brand new show. We've been doing this for 17 years. At the end of the tour, we all go our separate ways. The four of us go our separate ways, and we go out and explore life and write a brand new show. So we have a brand new show for 2026. So if you've seen us in previous years, you're going to see a brand new show at the Fraser Auditorium tonight.
How cool is that? I've seen some of your work, and you're originally from Wawa. People know about the big goose there, and you also tell a joke about the Canada
the way
goose.
You say Wawa, you say Wawa. You say there's a stress on the second wa that you're saying Wawa. It's making me laugh.
Is it Wawa?
I've heard it pronounced as Wawa.
Wawa.
It's Wawa.
Wawa. Well, that's good. I'm glad we got that out of the way. You know, that's important. So does your goose joke go over well with the audience?
Yeah, people love my goose joke. Yes, I was nominated for a Gemini Award, which is now the Canadian Screen Awards, for that performance. Yeah, that gave me a lot of traction. It gave me a nice boost to my career, that goose joke. Okay. Good boost to that goose.
Let's talk about the tour, because I see you're touring Ontario, then you kind of go to Nova Scotia, back to Ontario, PEI. Who set this up?
It works out by routing. So, being from Wawa, a lot of my friends and family and fans want me to perform in Sault Ste. Marie, but we can't manage to work Sault Ste. Marie because of routing. And that's exactly what your question is it's a matter of routing, when these theaters are available and when we are available to be able to get up to those theaters. So we're doing a little run here in Northern Ontario this week. Next week, we're going to do a little bit in Southern Ontario. And then we're off to Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and then we come back and we do our big finale in Toronto.
And you've seen the snow in North Bay. Wait till you come to Sudbury and see our snow.
I've already gotten some messages from fans asking if the show was still happening tonight. I'm like, wow, we're really driving into some snow, I guess, in Sudbury.
Yeah, we just got another 5 to 10 centimeters, but we're used to it. Not as much as Sault Ste. Marie. I think, in fact, the Sioux even set a record this year.
Wow. Okay. When you're hitting record-setting snow in Sault Ste. Marie, that is a real dump of snow.
Yeah, and you're used to being snowed in as a youngster, I imagine, because of Wawa and the proximity to Lake Superior and Highway 17.
We would just get walloped with snow so much that we wouldn't even cancel school. Like, I remember there was a snowdrift over the entire school, and then the janitor came out with a chainsaw and just cut a tunnel through the snow that we walked through to get to the... So now when I hear these kids are getting, hey, school's canceled today, we got 3 centimeters of snow, and I'm like, we had to carve a tunnel through the snow to still go to school.
Pete, thanks so much for your time. Break a leg.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Always look forward to performing in Sudbury and being back in my Northern Ontario homeland.
Pete Zedlacker joined us from North Bay. And to learn more about the tour, head to snowedincomedytour.com. There's a lot of misinformation on social media about health and health products, which has sparked several Canadian doctors to try their hand at becoming evidence-based health influencers. CTV's Penny Daflos has more.
At first blush, they seem like a lot of reels on social media.
Stop doom scrolling.
But this isn't just entertainment.
I have no idea what the hell I'm saying.
It's actually a very thoughtful move targeting medical mis- and disinformation.
It's a real skill set to be able to explain things in the types of language that anybody will understand.
The Canadian Medical Association has a growing team of influencers taking facts to Canadians on the social media platforms where they already spend time.
We need to make sure that we're interesting enough that people are engaging and wanting to watch videos, wanting to understand what we have to say, while still making sure that you are providing the evidence, that you are making sure that your advice is sound.
The videos range from basic info about hospitals to highlighting the absurdity and harms found in the wellness industry.
Do not put strange things into your vagina.
Super surprised at some of the videos of mine that have taken off. Like I have one about constipation that tens of thousands of people have watched, and I'm like, really? Okay, great.
Rita McCracken is a family doctor in Vancouver, quickly growing her online presence with evidence-based communication.
I'm glad to have a chance to speak to folks and to use my training and my ability to parse through the evidence.
There's all these different incentives for people to monetize misinformation and really very few guardrails to protect against it.
Wes Regan is studying these issues at UBC and is giving the Healthcare for Real project top marks for tackling everything from juice cleanses to artificial intelligence to adult ADHD diagnoses.
It comes off as authentic, which I think is important because a lot of the issues of trust often boil down to people feeling that these large institutions are these distant, opaque, big machine.
Because behind those cheeky videos,
'tis but a scratch,
are serious messages about pricey or even dangerous alternatives.
She was afraid of getting vaccinated blood. So this became a very life or death situation for this individual because of misinformation.
Another reason to take a good look at whose information you're absorbing. Penny Dafflaw, CTV News, Vancouver.
An April 1st deadline is looming for the province to set up funding for all nurse practitioners. As CTV's Pauline Chan tells us, some have been working on a fee-per-service basis.
So this is 3 months follow-up, correct?
Yes. Emily Park is just wrapping up her 2-year training as a nurse practitioner after working for some years as a registered nurse. But where she will work next will determine how she's paid. Those like Marak Fazal, who work in one of the province's 27 nurse practitioner-led clinics, or NPLCs, are paid salaries with public dollars.
We also practice in other primary care settings, such as family health teams, community health centers, Indigenous-led clinics. Nurse practitioners are in long-term care and correctional centers and hospitals doing primary and specialty care.
But Michelle Acorn of the Nurse Practitioners Association of Ontario says a significant number of the 6,000 nurse practitioners in the province are unemployed or underemployed.
Nurse practitioners have stepped up and improved access to care for patients. Some, unfortunately, are not publicly funded and are in the private sector right now. Patients are paying out of pocket right now for some publicly funded services because there is no way to remunerate or pay the nurse practitioner because we do not have easily accessible, flexible funding models similar to our physician colleagues.
The federally set deadline to do that is April 1st, but the Nurse Practitioners Association fears it won't be met. Today, the Ministry of Health said the Ministry of Health is actively reviewing and engaged in ongoing discussions with provincial and territorial partners and the federal government regarding implementation expectations of the federal government's direction.
The ministry should be applauded for the infusion of over $2 billion for primary health care through the Primary Care Action Team. And the mandate is to attach Ontarians, 100% of Ontarians, to a nurse practitioner or a physician and leverage their full teams.
Acorn adds that nurse practitioners are a group that's actually growing by 11% each year, so they could play a vital role in ensuring that every Ontarian has a primary care provider. But she says fair, stable funding is key. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
A major win for food insecurity in Sudbury as a fundraiser wrapped up at the new Sudbury Centre. The annual Camping for Cans event is a 10-hour live radio event by Pure Country 91.7. The tally for this year was impressive, with the community stepping up to give more than 600 non-perishable items and close to $5,000 in donations, which all goes to the Sudbury Food Bank. He was a martial artist and actor. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. Chuck Norris has passed away. The Hollywood action star was 86 years old.
Hockey This Week is brought to you by Rastall Nut and Bolt Company. We're back with more Hockey This Week, and who better than Mark Seidel, Director of Player Personnel for the Windsor Spitfires, to give us his insight into the Northern matchups and some great matchups. Mark, thanks for dropping by. Let's begin with the Sault Greyhounds and the London Knights, depending on home ice advantage heading into the final weekend. This looks like the best of the three matchups.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a phenomenal series. I think, London's London. They've sold off some of their stars this year, but Dale Hunter's still coaching them. They're still going to be a tough team and a tough out in the playoffs. But, I think the Sault went and get Carter George. They got the best goalie probably in Canada. And they've got some stars there. So I think, I think London will be a challenge, but I think the Sault will probably win it in 6 games.
Chase Reed on defense for the Greyhounds. Will he be the difference maker, at least defensively and maybe offensively as well? He can generate some good O.
Yeah, certainly. I think the London Knights will get sick of seeing him because he's probably going to play 25 minutes a night at least. Phenomenal story came out, actually got cut by a USHL team, ended up going up to the Sault, and people may be shocked to hear this, but he has a chance to go number 1 overall. Certainly, I think he's going to go third, but he'll go top 5 overall guaranteed. So a phenomenal player that's really developed, and I think is a star for them. And then Brady Martin is going to be the star up front. So I think the Sault is loaded up and ready to beat London, and I think they will.
Series number 2, North Bay and, of course, the Peterborough Petes. Depending on, again, who gets home ice advantage, this one looks like it could go 6 or 7. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think so. One of the metrics I use, and I'm not a big analytic guy, but sort of is a plus-minus, goals for and against over the year. And, North Bay is a +14, Peterborough is a -3. So, what that tells me is that, I think North Bay should be favored. I think they'll win the series as well. Both teams are quality teams, but they're not championship type teams. So, it could be a rough series. The Peterborough can get a little nasty at times, and North Bay isn't going to back down at all either. And North Bay's young, so I think the key is this year to try and win the series, get some experience, and then going into next year, they're ready to take a challenge, try and challenge for the cup.
Will goaltending be the deciding factor? Because we've seen some great games and some not so great games.
Yeah, as you know, Rick, the goaltending is the most important position, on any team. And I think both teams have good goaltending. But like you say, they have had some bad nights. But, I think North Bay's goaltending, their systems, their back end, everything is better. And I think ultimately they'll win and move on to the second round.
Okay, looks like the Sudbury Wolves are going to wind up playing Brantford. Is this just one of those series where Brantford's just going to steamroll the Wolves, or do the Wolves have any hope of maybe winning 1, 2, or 3 games in this series?
It's junior hockey, Rico. It's a case of these are 17, 18, 19-year-old kids, so you never know. But, I talked about the plus-minus in the last series. Brantford is a +107, Sudbury's a -50. So, again, that tells me that the chances are it's certainly going to be a tough series for Sudbury. Can they win a game or 2 for sure? Could they win the series theoretically? Yeah, they've actually played Brantford pretty well this year, but Brantford just loaded up with stars. They've got their set sight on winning the league championship. So it'll be tough for Sudbury, but I think the games will certainly be entertaining, and you never know. I think they could win a game or 2 for sure.
Mark Seidel, Director of Player Personnel with the Windsor Spitfires. I'll see you at the rink. We're back with more Hockey This Week to wrap up the season next week.
Still with the Ontario Hockey League, a look at last night's game in North Bay.
Callie with room, a 2-on-1 emerging. Callie with a move, he scores!
Ryder Callie would net the first goal of the game just 4 minutes in, and it would be the game winner. The North Bay Battalion blanked the Brampton Steelheads 7-zip. This evening, the troops march on Brantford looking for another win against the Bulldogs. The battalion are in a heated battle with the Peterborough Petes, 4 points in this final weekend with hopes of home ice advantage for the playoffs. The Steelheads will be in Sudbury tonight to face off against the Wolves. Puck drop at the Sudbury Community Arena is 7:05. And the Sault Greyhounds will be looking to crush Saginaw's Spirits tonight. After losing to the Spirit earlier in the week, the rematch begins at 7:07 at GFL Memorial Gardens. In the NOJHL playoff season has already begun. Last night, the Sudbury Cubs and Kirkland Lake Gold Miners faced off in Game 1 of their quarterfinal matchup. No scoring in the first, but the Cubs would bury the Gold Miners 9-1 in the remaining 2 periods. Kirkland Lake will be looking to rebound tonight in Game 2 at TM Davies Arena in Lively at 7 p.m. The 3 other quarterfinals kick off tonight. The Sioux Thunderbirds are in Timmins to take on the Rock in Game 1 action, while the Sioux Eagles touch down in Powassan to face the Voodoos. And the Espanola Paper Kings will play their playoff opener against the Hearst Lumberjacks. All games start at 7 p.m. The Sioux College Cougars said goodbye to Division II hockey last night in style. These women made history yesterday, winning their 4th national title, making the Cougars the winningest team in ACHA Division II hockey. They shut out Manitoba's Assiniboine College 1-0 in the final. The Cougars will play Division I hockey starting next season. American action legend and martial artist Chuck Norris has died.
Lisa, would you go behind my pickup truck and pull down the tailgate for me, please?
The television and film actor, whose roles in Walker, Texas Ranger, and others made him an iconic tough guy, was recently hospitalized in Hawaii. Norris, who turned 86 last week, marked the event with a video on Instagram, which would be his last on the platform. Martin Scorsese is working on a new film, and actress Kirsten Dunst is making a movie for kids. David Daniel has more in tonight's Hollywood Report.
Right here, Mr. Scorsese!
Martin Scorsese is in the Czech Republic working on his next film. He's teamed with fellow Oscar winners Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio on What Happens at Night, based on the Peter Cameron novel about an American couple that travels to a small European town to adopt a baby. It's the 7th feature DiCaprio has worked on with Scorsese.
After having a son and having my husband...
Another wish come true for Kirsten Dunst. The actress reportedly has been cast in the Minecraft sequel. She told Town and Country last year she wanted to be in the next Minecraft movie because her kids loved the first one, and she'd like to be in a film that made a lot of money.
An astronaut is a person who does not fear problems, but yet sees problems as challenges, and frankly, exciting.
Spacewoman looks at the life and career of Eileen Collins, the first woman to pilot and to command a space shuttle, including the first flight after the Shuttle Columbia disaster. The documentary looks at how Colonel Collins' career pushed the boundaries and affected her family. Spacewoman is in theaters now. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Canadian retail sales were up over 1% in January. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has more.
Sales totaled $70.7 billion in January, with increases in 6 of 9 subsectors. Vehicles and parts led sales in January, up by 2% month over month. Sales of building materials were also up, and more jewelry, luggage, and leather were sold. Those items get lumped together. Sales were up across all provinces, with Alberta making the biggest gain. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up a fraction to 72.92. West Texas Intermediate ended the day at 98.23. Western Canadian Select is up over $1 to 80.31. And the TSX lost another 537 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold down $174.83, closing the day at $44.91.62 U.S. an ounce. Silver slipped $4.91 to end the day at $67.90. Copper up 2 cents to $5.40, and nickel up 20 cents, ending the day at $7.58 U.S. a pound. And before we go, I'm going to provide you the wake-up weather forecast for tomorrow, Saturday. Let's start in through Sudbury, -1 degree. Overcast condition in through Timmins, -2 with a mix of sun and cloud. Right at the freezing mark for Sault Ste. Marie, overcast skies. As we head on over to North Bay, mainly cloudy. A mix of sun and cloud, 4 for Parry Sound and 0 for Temiskaming Shores. And finally, Laurentian University's MacEwan School of Architecture has a creative and educational display at Bell Park in Sudbury. First-year students have designed and built ice stations. The original idea was for the structures to be on Ramsey Lake skating path, but it's closed due to weather conditions. One structure is called Duck, and we talked to students about the concept and design.
It's kind of like, it's double entendre. I mean, you have to duck to get through it, but then we also made it kind of like wings feathering together like a duck wing.
We originally planned for it to be on the ice, so the whole point was to plan it around water, the park. So then we started off with our first idea about waves, then that transformed into more wings like ducks, and then that's where we pretty much got our idea, duck, and also that you have to duck under it as well.
The idea behind the school was that we would really be able to somehow contribute to the community. And so when this project was initiated, probably 12, 13 years ago now, the idea was that we would design something for the public, right? So that the public could be a part of the education of the students and experience something that the students are making.
5 structures will be on display in Bell Park over the next 2 weeks. And folks, thanks for watching CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Ian Campbell. Good night.